As you watch the first half of this program, keep these questions in mind.
Why did the British need to tax the colonies?
What were the effects of Samuel Adams calling the event in Boston a massacre?
The American colonies had grown used to being governed from across the Atlantic Ocean, but Britain's grip wasn't loosening. British taxes and soldiers were a constant reminder that the king was still in control. Colonists were angry and they were ready to act.
What do you know about the leaders of the American Revolution and their beliefs?
Madison, Hamilton, Monroe.
John Hancock, Benjamin Franklin.
George Washington was the leader of the army. They were fighting against taxes from Britain, especially unfair ones that they thought they shouldn't have to pay because they weren't represented.
The leaders of the American Revolution based their philosophy on John Locke, who said that the government exists purely to work for the needs of the people.
And so it was a real way for them to say, this is what we believe in and we want our freedom, and we're going to do what it takes to get it.
After 1500, many European nations were competing for land in North America. The French and British already controlled vast territories, but both nations were interested in owning even more. With help from the Iroquois, British troops and colonists defeated the French in the French and Indian War. Colonists were grateful to the British government for sending soldiers, but they wanted to remain as free as possible of control by the mother country. For that reason, the end of the war brought new friction between the colonists and Britain. First, Britain's King George III issued the Proclamation of 1763. In it, the king forbade colonists from moving west of the Appalachian Mountains. The British wanted to prevent the colonists from taking more land from Native Americans because they feared it would lead to more expensive wars. And the British decided that the colonists should help pay the cost of the soldiers they would station in America, soldiers who protected the colonists from Native American attacks. In 1765, Britain passed the Stamp Act, which placed a tax on all printed material, from newspapers to playing cards. Calling themselves the Sons of Liberty, many colonists took to the streets to protest the new taxes. Eventually, the colonists' actions forced Britain to repeal the Stamp Act, but the British put new taxes in place. Each time the British passed a new tax, the colonists became angry. Colonists staged boycotts of British goods, and they wrote pamphlets that criticized Parliament's policies. Tensions rose even more when the British sent troops to restore order. Anger would soon turn to violence in Boston. On March 5, 1770, an angry group of colonists surrounded a small group of British soldiers. They threw snowballs and rocks. The frightened soldiers opened fire, killing 5 colonists and wounding 6. This event came to be called the Boston Massacre.